I've been doing training programs for Kiet College for the last 15 years, both boys and the women's college. I'm here for 5 days, one batch per day we will be training. And before we start, I want you to look at me, not as a teacher, I'm also a student. I'm also learning like you're learning. I want no fear. Do not be fear. No fear at all. Okay, we are equals. No teacher-student relationship, we are friends. I want you to look at me as your support. Support why? So that after you finish college and you go out into the world and you go out for campus interviews, you can get that job. That is the most important thing. So I want to help you to get that job. When you go for interviews and group discussions, I want you to get that job. You want that job?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we are going to work together. Not teacher-student relationship. So the first thing is, fear. What do you say in Telugu for fear?
Bayam.
Get that out. Get that out. There is no such thing as a mistake. Make them. Doesn't matter. The important thing is, if I can learn from the mistake. Have you understood this? If I can learn from the mistake, then mistake is a good thing. Because it teaches. So don't be scared of making mistakes. Don't be scared of coming here and talking and making a presentation. Nothing to be scared of. Because if you speak badly, doesn't matter. We will learn. So get the fear out of your mind. Do not look at me as a teacher, but as an equal a student person. Are you clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Can I go to the second point?
Yes, sir.
Second point, I want to tell you a little story. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Right there? Yes, sir. I'll tell you a little story. There's a place in Maharashtra called Aurangabad. It's a small place. It's not a big place like Mumbai or Delhi or Calcutta. It's a small place. And there's a college like this in Aurangabad where I've done training. I'm talking about 15 years ago. An engineering college. Students like me. The story is about one girl student. She came from a poor family. Father was a farmer, mother was a housewife, and the parents sacrificed a lot for the daughter's education. They sacrificed a lot. Same way she went into this college, like you, like that college, did her course. This is a story that goes back more than 15 years. It goes back to about 20 or 25 years. And I will tell you how I heard the story myself. So there was one girl, this girl we're talking about, she went into this college, she did her engineering course, and then she went for campus interviews, and she got a job. She was placed. She got the placement. She got the placement, and then she came home and told her parents that I got the placement and I have to go to Pune for my first assignment. Training is going to be in Pune. So the parents were a little sad. They said, "You're going away. How will we live?" So you know what she told the parents? She told the parents, "You have sacrificed so much for my education. You've been through so much pain for my education. You can't go through one more pain of my going to Pune." So the parents understood. They said yes, and she said, "This is for my future." So she went off to Pune for her training, and then she joined the company and started working. Every year she used to take leave. There is something called annual leave. You get 30 days leave after working every year. She used to go home. She used to bring money home. Life became a little better for the parents. After 4 years, she told her father, retire, relax, watch television. She bought a television for the family after 4 or 5 years. And their life improved. It became easier. After about 10 years, came home again for her annual leave. And she told her parents that this time, I want you to come with me to Pune for a short holiday. So they said, to Pune, but Pune, it is so expensive. She said, no, you stay with me. And it was her father's birthday. She said, for your birthday, you come to Pune. So they went. She had a small flat by this time. She was doing well. She had a small 2-bedroom flat. And they settled in that flat. And on the day of her father's birthday, she said, I want to give you a birthday present, so you have to come with me. I want to take you somewhere. So she got a taxi and took the parents and went into an apartment complex. You know apartment complexes? Flats. Went into an apartment complex, went into the third floor, stood outside the door of a brand new apartment, took out keys from her bag, and gave it to her father and said, this apartment is for you. The parents said, apartment is, who bought it? I. So the father said, how did you get so much money to buy an apartment? She said, no, the company bought it. The company bought it? Company gave me a loan. It is called housing
On.
Company gave me a housing loan because I've done work for 10 years, so I bought a flat. So they went inside the flat, they opened the door, it was nicely furnished, simple flat, and the daughter told the parents, you can now live here, we can all live together, or you can go back to Aurangabad, keep coming over here, or sell that place in Aurangabad, with that invest that money, and live in. How did I know this story about this girl from Aurangabad? Because when I went to Aurangabad for training, I was doing this program called Mission 10X, which is a Wipro program that I've been doing for many years. The program, we have to go to engineering colleges and teach the faculty, not you, faculty. Teach them what? Not engineering, teach them how to teach. Teach them how to deal with students. Not engineering. Engineering is your syllabus. Teach them how to motivate the students. Teach them how to use methodologies in classroom that makes the subject interesting. Otherwise it can be boring, no? You go to sleep, especially backbenchers. So how do you keep their attention? It is how you speak. And that is what you are going to do. So anyway, coming back to the story, when I went to Aurangabad, to this engineering college, I went there for training. What is this? I don't know. Thank you. So, for 3 days, it was a 3-day program. It was a Wipro program. It was for Wipro. This lady, by this time, she was a technical person. I think one of the engineering branches, civil engineering, whatever, I don't know what it was. After working for 15 years, she became a lecturer. She said, I don't want to work for a company, I want to go into teaching. Became a lecturer, and I met her with all the other faculty members. She was one of my students. So in one of the classes, one session was on presentation skills. You have to come and make a presentation. What is the subject? The subject was the most interesting episode in my life. And this lady, who by which time was a senior lecturer or whatever you call it, she told this. And the rest of the class was silent. Because they knew the story. I didn't know. I just looked it up and I said, is it true? This is true. And she said, yes sir, it is true. And I looked, and all the other faculty members who were sitting there, they said, sir, this is true. Now she is working over here. She bought an apartment for her father. You know, there are many such incidents. There is one more I want to quote for you. Where again, this was a boy, young boy, farmer's son, went into engineering. Parents sacrificed everything, got a job. And after 7 years, when his younger sister was going to get married, the mother was going to pawn her jewelry. You know what is pawning jewelry? To raise money. The brother told her, you don't have to pawn any jewelry, I will provide the money. You know, good organizations, when you join good companies, apart from salary, all that, they give you a loan. You can take a loan for buying a house, a flat, You can take a loan for buying a vehicle. You can take a loan and buy a car for your child. You want to do that? Yes, we want to do that. So to do that, what do we have to do? We have to prepare ourselves to get a good job. Can you do it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, anybody can do it. That girl from Aurangabad, that lady, was like you. Her English was not very good because she was a local girl. Just like you. But you know something, she told herself, she spoke to herself and she said, I am going to do it. It may take 10 years, it may take 8 years, but I am going to do it. And the only person who can stop you is you. Nobody else can stop you. So get that fear out of your mind. You have only one thing in your mind, that you will be successful. And you tell yourself, okay, what's your name, madam? Sorry? How do you spell it? What do your friends call you? Bhavya. No. So Bhavya, I want you to tell yourself, I will speak better English than Pradeep said in 1 year's time. Yes? And you can do it better. Not good, better than it. If you have that determination, you can do anything you want to do. You don't have to be from Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, Madras to do it. You can do it right from here. You can do it tomorrow. That is the reason why I am here. To help you do that. So, today's session, my request to you is give it everything. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Because this is for you. This is not for me. I'm retired. It's you. It is today we are going to go on a journey for the future that will help you to get all the skills. You know, skill, meaning of skill, competency, ability. That not only can you get a job but do a job. So today, just give it everything. We've got only 1 day with you. Let's make the most of it. And if I come and ask you to sleep, don't be scared. I will be standing next to you. This is the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing I want to say is, you know the meaning of the word domain, D-O-M-A-I-N?
Yes, sir.
Domain means specialization. You understand specialization?
Yes, sir.
What is a specialization? Medicine is a specialization. People who want to study medicine. Law is a specialization. That's a specialization. Artificial intelligence is a specialization. What else do you do here? Artificial. All these are specializations. So I can be a specialist in artificial intelligence or in law or in medicine. But when I join a company, what are the other things I need to develop to do a good job other than my specialization? There's no board here, it doesn't matter. We just put it up. Now Harvard University, you know Harvard University in America, one of the most famous universities in the world, they did a model on specialization skills, artificial intelligence skills, coding skills, mechanical engineering skills, civil engineering skills, law, marketing, finance. These are specializations. So on one side of the board I have specialization, and on the other side of the board I have management skills, which is not a specialization but general. Now what are these management skills I need to have? Number one, communication. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I may be very good at artificial intelligence, a top grader, top student. But if I can't communicate, how can I work for a company? So number one, I need to develop my communication. In which language? English. Yes, because English is the business language of the world. It is not Telugu. It is not Bengali, Tamil Bengali. It is English. So English is part of your skill. So I need to develop my communication. I need to develop my confidence. We're going to do all that today. What is confidence? Confidence is when I stand in front of an interview panel, or I stand in front, or I'm in a group discussion, or I stand in front of my boss, I don't stand the case. I stand the case. And some my boss says to me, or the interviewer says to me, what's your name?
Yes,
Absolutely. And how do you say?
My name is Pradeep, sir.
ऐसा बोल रहा क्या? No, my name is Pradeep. I'm calling. Sit. And where do you come from?
I'm from Kakinada.
You're finished. You will never get the job. Even if you've got 100% or 200% in your sum, you never get it. Because the company will say, how will this girl work with a client, with a customer? So, how do you say I come to Kakinada? Sir, I'm from Kakinada. Simple, straightforward. Why do you want this job? I think I can do a good job, sir. Why do you think you can do a good job? Sir, because the skills you want, I've learned those skills and I've practiced those skills. What are the skills? A, B, C, D. If you are asked a question that you don't have the answer to, then what do?
You put your head down and say, I'm sorry, so I don't have.
No. You look and say, I'm sorry, sir, I don't have this. That is confidence.
Confidence.
So what have we got apart from your domain? Communication.
Confidence.
Now in confidence, I'm going to break it down to 2 or 3 things. One is body language, how I talk, and I want you to change it right now. See, I want to tell you something, you girls. When you're walking down the campus, don't walk with your head down. Walk. You walk, the message you're giving to everybody is that I'm good. I'm as good as you. You don't look at yourself and say, my gender is a feminine gender or female gender, therefore I have to get out of it right now. Right now, you walk. You walk up straight. You walk with confidence. Communication will take a little more time, and we will give you some idea on how to do that. But confidence you start with. You walk with your head up. You forget about Kakinada, local culture, parents, obedience, forget about it. And I need to give you one more example of this before we get into the program. Have you understood what I've said?
Yes.
Can I go to number 3?
Yes, sir.
One of the problems that has happened in India, and I want to give you a little cultural history because I think it's very important, is that, India has been ruled for the last 1,000 years. You know that? We were first ruled by the Persians, then the Turks, then the Afghans, then the Mughals, and then the British. Up to 1947, right from the 8th century to 1947, we've been ruled. So what has happened is genetically, we become with our head a little down like this, especially when it comes to foreigners. Because India is changing today, you have become more confident today. But when I was growing up, our head was like this, number one. Number two, our parents, especially in middle class India, and we are all middle class Indians, they're very difficult. I mean, I love my parents, both my parents are gone. But the problem is that they wanted too much obedience. You know what you mean by obedience?
Yes,
You
sir.
know what obedience for? So if the elder in the family says stand up, they say sit down,
Sit down.
they say go to your room, we run to the room. If they say smile, we smile. If they say cry, that is supposed to be a good person. Is it? I'm not sure. Now, as you become adults, and we become so used to obedience, that anybody in front of us, we have our head down. I think good parenting is when the son or the daughter tells the father or the mother that I'm sorry, my father, I don't agree with this. And the father says, okay, fair enough, tell me why you do it. And you have a debate and a discussion. But if the father says, you better agree because I'm your father, the child is finished. So this obedience structure is happening A because we have been invaded, that is the main. We have been invaded. And two, because our parents have made us. Parents may be a good social behavior, but when you're in a competitive world, when there are 10 candidates and 2 vacancies, that's the problem, huh? 10 candidates and
2 vacancies.
and all of them know the same amount about artificial intelligence that you do. So what makes the difference? So you got to catch that out of your head, that fear. So from tomorrow you start walking around the campus, you walk with your head up, you walk with confidence, go to a student and say, hello, my name is so and so. Just do that, just experiment that. You'll see what a change. Don't wait for somebody to speak to you. You start. What are you doing? Why should somebody come and talk? Say, good morning, where are you from? You come up to me and say, you know, I'm very impressed with the lady over there, coordinator. I was waiting in that room while this woman was being cleaned. She came up to me. She first looked and she came up to me and she said, good morning, sir. Confidently, I said, yes, good morning. She said, sir, I'm the coordinator for this group. I said, thank you very much. And I said, oh, this is terrible. And then we talked about it. I said, how many people? Said 30 people are coming. She came up, she just looked. We don't know each other, I've never met her. Never. She never met me. She just walked in fearlessly, but politely. She said, excuse me, sir. I said, yes, my name is another coordinator. Is it so difficult?
No, sir.
Is it impossible?
No, sir.
No. So you got to first forget about where you come from and think about where you are
Going.
going. This is the second thing now. Somebody has to remind me of the time because I want to go watch. What is it?
9:52, sir.
9:52.
Yes, sir.
Just tell me when it is 10:15.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you understood these two stories? One is I can do it. Two is other than my domain, I need to develop other sides. And what did we say about it? And the third one. Third one is creativity. Do you understand the meaning of creativity? Innovation. When you go for your interview, they would like to know, can you innovate and can you create? With this, I now come to the program, which is called Teach to Learn. You know that one? TTL, you know that? Teach to Learn is a program that has been visioned by your chairman, Mr. Vaishnav. This is vision. What does it mean? It means to learn something, I need to teach it. Because if I'm going to teach a subject, I have to first learn the subject. Agree?
Yes,
Can you
sir.
teach without learning?
No, sir.
No. You know, there was a writer called Benjamin Bloom, and he said, the person who says, I'm not willing to learn, is actually saying, I'm not willing to teach. The parent must be a bigger learner than the children. The teacher must be a bigger learner than the student. The doctor must be a bigger learner than the patient. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Will you go for a doctor for a brain operation if the doctor says, I'm sorry, but I did not study? Will you give your hand to him to cut open?
No, sir.
No, you won't. So teach to learn, what we should say, Chairman, is that if I take a class tomorrow, I have to learn the topic. So it forces me to go into it. Now, which is what you're going to do. 4 of us are going to do this. Now, when you come to teach, what are the qualities a teacher must have to get attention from the class? What is those qualities?
Someone.
Confidence.
Confidence. Confidence.
Confidence.
Controlling.
You want a teacher who doesn't like paying the chair. You will excuse me, open your book and look at page 70. Will you respect him?
No, sir.
So you have to have confidence. Number 2.
Communication.
Communication. Not boring communication, but exciting communication. How do I make it exciting? Certain words of a sentence I speak louder, the important one. But if I keep talking like this with exactly the same tone for 70 minutes, you're going to get bored. I need to create a way. So we will learn all this. So I need communication. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right. I need confidence.
Creativity.
What is creativity in teaching?
How do you grasp the attention from the students?
I'm going to take it one by one. I'll come to you now.
Grab
Yeah, no, please don't get up. You don't have to get up. No, yeah, you're right. 100%. Creativity in teaching. How many minutes is your class? 60 minutes? 50 minutes?
1 hour, sir.
1. You're teaching a topic in 1. Correct? One topic. One
Yes, sir.
class, 1. You've got 60 students or 70 students. In 1 hour, is it easy to get their attention for all 60 minutes?
No, sir.
Very difficult. You might get attention maybe for
5 to 10
and
minutes.
then attention. So, what can I do in the class that where I can get the attention of at least 70% of the students, if not 100%, for 1 hour? That is creative. What can I do with my syllabus subject apart from a lecture? So, if my class is for 1 hour, I introduce the topic, 15 minutes or 10 minutes. I give the first lecture, let's say 10 minutes, then can I do something interesting in class for the next 15 minutes that makes it interesting? That is creativity in teaching. So if I can do that, number 1. And number 2, what is the other quality of the teacher? The ability to give answers to questions that come to us. And this is going to be very important when you go for interviews, because what is an interview? Questions. And for each question there will be 2 other questions. So what can we do? A, to do well in an interview and to do well in class. It is called question anticipation. So let me give you an example of going for an interview. I am preparing for the interview. I have anticipated a question, which is, Pradeep sir, tell me about your strength. Normal question, tell me about your strength. So I am planning that if they ask me about my strength, my answer will be, sir, I am very creative. That's my answer. Do you think the question is over?
No, sir.
No, there will be a second question. What will the second question be?
Water.
Now I have to anticipate question number
2.
This is called escalation number 1. So when I prepare an answer for a question, I must prepare for at least 2 escalations. So then I can say that, sir, I think I am creative because when I was in college, there was a college magazine and I did some work with designing the cover, so I think I am creative. But after saying I am creative, in the second question when they ask, how are you creative? At that point, if I keep doing like this, you're finished. So anticipating questions. If they ask one question, this is my answer, it is likely they will answer
Another question.
second question. Okay. Will you be, that's another interview question. Will you be willing to go to Bombay if you get this job? What should your answer be?
Yes.
Yes. I will be willing to possible follow-up question. What about the family? I've spoken to the family, sir. They have accepted. Therefore, a job, I can go anywhere and accept. One more question that may come. What are your managements? It's an important question. You need to understand. What's your answer? Either you can say that I have no plan to manage for the next 10 years. Or if you are planning to get married, then you have to say, I'm planning to get married in 3 years. Then what will be the question? What will happen if your husband is not involved? Your husband is in Hyderabad or Patna. Now you have to get the answer now. So what should the answer be? Tell me, I'm asking this interview question.
I will convince her.
Now you talk to me and we will
I will convince her. I will convince him and I will take to him Bombay.
Okay. Is that answer good enough? It may not be, but you've got a good idea. So let's build on that. This is the last thing before we get into teach to learn program. What you can say is that during my discussions with my husband, I will tell him that my career is important and he will have to come to Bombay with me, or we will have to live separately and meet each other during the week. Otherwise, I will not get married. In other words, what you tell in the company is your career is more important than your
Marriage.
tell them that. Because if you give a different impression, they say, I don't think I can be true. I'm going to invest money in you, I'm going to teach you the job, I'm going to give you a salary. And 3 years later, you're going to leave. Next candidate. Okay, now these are called question anticipations and escalations. A teacher, therefore, this sum up, must be good at communication,
Confidence.
creativity. Yeah, think of how do I make the class interesting? How do I do it? And 4 is anticipating questions. Okay, now this is what we are going to do. What's the time? 3 minutes time for what have we started this thing called teach to learn? Is it because all of you are going to become teachers?
No.
No. So don't worry about that. Some of you may be under the misunderstanding that teach to learn means I have to become a teacher. No. Teach to learn for 2 reasons. Number 1, when you are teaching, you will go deeper into your subject. Your own knowledge of that topic will go up because you have to teach it. And number 2, when you are teaching in class, you will be developing all those things we talked about. Communication,
Confidence.
creativity, intelligence. When you do that, and that is, you remember the Harvard model, specialization, management. Specialization is artificial intelligence, management is communication. Specialization is coding.
Management is communication.
People management, or planning, all that will happen. In fact, the other thing that we learn is planning. How do I plan a session? I have a 1-hour session on this topic. How do I plan it? And you're going to learn it today. 4 of you are going to learn it today. And then when we come back, next time if I come back, other people will come and do this. And like I said, do not be scared to come and talk. You know what fear is? Fear is fear of failure. But don't worry about failure. Nothing wrong. Failure is not a crime. Should you go to jail for failure? No. Any good teacher, any good parent will take that failure and make it into a lesson. So how do I improve? Failure is very important. Failure can be very powerful, provided the teacher can take that failure and convert it into a lesson. Yeah. Not even punishment. Failure must not attract punishment. Crime, yes. Misbehavior, bad behavior, yes. That's a different thing. Those may be punishable. You know what I mean by bad behavior? A mistake has to be nurtured. That is what we are doing. So now what we are going to do now is I am going to choose. Did anybody talk to you about this program? Anybody talk about what we have to do? Okay, we're going to choose 4 people who will teach. Right? In this case. 4 people who will work out the session plan. Take any topic that you want to take. Work out the session plan. First 10 minutes ये होगा, next अपना ये होगा, then I will do this and finally I will do. Then you have to make your topic in that. Okay. So let's see who are the 4 who are going to do this. And when you will come and teach, we will look at your communication, we will look at your confidence. It may not be good today, but don't worry, we will know where we are. So as we go forward in this program, we will work on those areas. It's a long program, it's a 6-month rolling program. We will see where you need that improvement, and we will work with you to improve that. You're in first year, no?
Yes, sir.
You know, if you, how many years is this? 4 years?
Yes, sir.
4 years, if you do this, by the time you come to the end of your scholastic career and you go into your placement, we will not be a different person.
Yes, sir.
4 years? Yes. First year, you may not make much of a improvement. Second year, third year, your whole confidence will change. So look at it as a long-term program, not a short-term program, not what is happening today, but what's going to happen for the next 4 years. And we are starting out. Okay, so let's get 4 people who will do this. Can you write down? I'm just going to request you to write down the name. And don't say no, don't do that. Because you will not be helping yourself. Get into it. And you don't have to fear anything. What does it have to fear?
My name is Sandeep.
You give all that name, phone number, whatever, because I have to record that. Just write it down, I will write it down. Come, somebody else will come. Thank you. I love this. Look at this volunteer. Give them up. We are making a habit. We don't project our voice because we are scared. We are scared in front of elders. We must talk softly. We must put our head down. Get out of that. Just get out. Class control. Here, class control will not be a problem because they are all controlled. In the main class, I know that's a problem. But you don't have to teach. Your need is only to develop your skills. You don't have to teach more. And attitude. Attitude is positive attitude. I'm here to learn with you. Now for voice projection, you play with the game. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Get in there to shout. Okay, ready? 1,
2,
3, 4, 5,
5,
6,
7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Now, from 1 to 10, what level should you speak at so that the class can hear you? 3, 4, 5, 6, which one? Let's do it again. Will they hear you at 1? 2, 3, 4. At least do 4. Agreed? 4 or 1 more? 1 more. Okay. They think 1 more. 4, 5. Speak at 5. Okay. So we're going to take a look at voice recognition. Now what I'm going to do is, you sit with these 4 girls over here. This is your team. You want to help her with the session. You sit with your team. You sit with you sit with them. You help her with the session plan. You sit with this group and you sit with one of the groups. Now, pick a topic. Do the session plan.
Good morning.
Today we have to deal with really and I'm the trainer of this place. Okay. There is no blackboard today, so it is not a big problem at all. We have to open this problem and we have to overcome this and we have to learn without blackboard. Today is like an experiment. We have to learn without board. So our topic is DLD. So what is DLD? It's nothing but digital logic gate. So how many of you know about DLD? Yeah, tell me.
Digital logical. DLD means digital logical. We have to design logical device to be digital.
And anyone? Anyone else? No.
Digital logic design in which we use simple number values because we can get both input and output from it.
Okay, that's a very good point. Anyone?
Me. It is used to build the circuits and it takes input and output.
This was a nice point. And anyone else? What you know about DLD? Tell that about. Tell that only. Okay, I want to tell that. Yeah, DLD is nothing but it's already said that digital logic designs, and we have to design computers, mobiles, and daily life electronic gadgets, right? And we have to design in such a way we have to use it in our way, and we have to use in a simple way. So we have to design In this process, we have to use DLD. And in computers, it's like motherboards, hardware. Actually, DLD is more used in hardwares like robotics, motherboard circuits. In any logic gates, we have to use logic gates. This logic gate is nothing about input and output. What we have to do input and what we get out. We have to design the logic gates in such a way. What we have to give input and it uses and we get the output. In DLD we have some applications like flip-flops, algorithms and etc. And the best examples for DLD is 1's complements, 2's complements, and the main one is logic gates. And there is 3 main basic logic gates, that is AND, OR and NOT. With the use of these logic gates, we have to construct all circuits and motherboards. And we have some number systems. There are mainly 4, and we have to use it to transform the simple numbers into binary numbers. And we have to convert the binary into decimal into binary, and octadecimal, hexadecimal. And we have to tell about first number system. In number system there is 4 types. First is binary, and second is decimal, and third one is hexadecimal, and fourth one is octadecimal. Okay? In binary there is only 2 symbols. That is, we have already know 0 and 1. With these 2 numbers, we have to construct the gate, and we have to learn what is 0 and what is 1. And there is 2 symbols right now. 0 is called off and 1 is on. And if we have, there is only 2 numbers, right? So we have to change it in decimal form or in hexadecimal form or in octadecimal form by using truth tables. Okay, binary is, now we have to discuss about decimal number system. Decimal number system is nothing but to have the base 10 and up to the binary numbers 0 to 9. From we have to convert the numbers into other number systems. By converting these number systems, we have to receive input and what we do? Give input and we can receive input, output. Okay? In this type we have to tell all number systems. Okay? All you know about number systems. Okay. Anyone tell about the 4 number systems? Okay.
Auto number system.
Binary number system, octal number system, hexadecimal number system, and decimal number system.
Okay. Can you tell about octal number system?
Yeah. In octal number system, there are 8 numbers, 0 to 7. We can in octal number system we can turn other number systems like the octal to decimal, octal to binary.
And next anyone? And okay, next we have to discuss about some topics like complements. Complements is also nothing but like binary number systems only. And in the complements we have 4 types of complements. And now we have to discuss about 1's complements, 2's complements, 9's complements and 10's complements. Before we get into the topic, we have a small interesting interactive session. Okay? All of you ready?
Yes.
Okay, today our interactive session is some crazy and quiz questions. These questions are prepared by our classmates. Okay, so all of you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Can anyone first? Okay, first. Surya. You know table? Okay. Which type of tables you know? Right. Tables. Yeah. Okay. Okay. How many legs have table? Legs. 4. Okay. All tables have legs? Okay. But there is a one table, but there is no legs.
Maths table.
No. Table.
Truth table.
All exactly. Oh, yeah, accurately. But the correct answer is anyone there? Anyone? Periodic table?
Yes. Why no?
Okay. Are you satisfied? Okay. Before going to the session, we have to complete our session for one's complement. After completing our one's complement, we have to continue the session. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, for one's complement, there is 2 binary numbers. This 0 and 1. 0 is there is like a 0 and 1 is like a switches. There is on and off. 0 means off, 1 is on. And like that, in binary system, according to the ones complement, we have to reverse the numbers. That means we have to place zeros in ones place and ones in zeros place in a binary number. That is called ones complement. So we have to see it here practically. I want 4 volunteers.
Oh, for the team.
Okay, now imagine these are the binary numbers. Okay, our front part is 0. That means on or off?
Off.
Okay, and back is means
On.
That means on. 1 means
On.
0 means
Off.
1 means
On.
0
Off.
Okay. Okay, now it is 0, 1 and 0 and 1. And now we have to convert this number into one's complement. Okay. That is 0, 1, 0, 1. Now in one's complement, what we have to change? That means we have to replace with 1 with 0 and 0 with 1. Like that, it is 0 means it's 1. If we change the number into one's complement, it is 0. So it is 1. So we have to replace with 1. And like this only, we have to change the numbers. And this is called one's complement. So all of you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone come to this? And I will give you a number and you will convert into. First you say what is these numbers?
1 0 0 1.
Okay. Change this number into one's complement.
Turns into 0 1 1 0.
Okay. Nice. So all of you understand what is one's complement and how we can change the number into one's complement?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, yes. Okay, we have to learn one topic, right? So we come back to our session, this quiz, and we have to ready with another question. And the question is, I have branches, right? I have branches, but no fruit, trunk or leaves. What I am?
CSE.
What?
CSE. Computer Science Engineering. There are many branches, right?
It's not.
Ask it.
It's stand.
Yeah, check. Bank has many branches like in many towns and cities, and there is no food on the trunk. Okay? And next question. First I will pick the person and next I will ask the question. Answer it. Okay. Which month of the year has 28 days? February. Yeah. All months have 28 days. All months have 28 days. Okay. And next. Yeah. Okay, the next question is. Yeah. I am tall when I am. But I am short when I am old. What I am? No. Can I repeat the question? Yes. I am tall. But I am reddish. But I am short. But I am old. Yeah. Next person. Amisha. Who has all the answers?
నేను క్యామ్లోనే ఫ్లాష్ ఆన్ చేసి
So, I want some the answers from the Amisha. In which bank we don't have any money, but we run the bank. Powered by. Yeah. Okay, next. Pavitra.
Okay, before you go forward, I just want to make a comment before I forget. The confidence take off. Then I need to take this, I need to show this kind of confidence throughout my life. Whether interview or group discussions are very well done on that. Right? Only thing you just tell her, thank you for volunteering, but I'll come back to you later. So you make her feel. But I think the way you're walking about it, you feel a little more confident now?
Yes.
Will you ever be scared of talking again?
No, sir.
Exactly. Go on, go first. You are very, very good. Go ahead.
I want to know about what are the crazy adventures you want to try in your life?
ఫేస్ బాట్ల
Yeah, it's your own life. What you want to do? Let's say.
Because I never danced in stage or anything, but I want to dance on stage.
Yeah, we have to try it on fest. Okay. Jokes apart, and next we have to come back with our session. And we have already completed one's compliment. And next we have to start our next topic, two's complement. Okay. Before starting our two's complement, once we recall the one's complement, anyone say about one's complement? Anyone? And what is number 0? Off. And what? On. Okay. And okay, we all know about the one's complement very clearly. And now we have to start the two's complement. And I want this volunteers. 4 and plus 1 5. Tulasi, can we? What is this means? 0 1. 0. And this 1. In what we have to do in two's complement is we have to add the 1. We have to add 1 to the number, to the binary number first. And we have to know the addition, right? 1 plus 0, 0 plus 1, 0 plus 0. And after the addition, we have to write the number. 0
plus
It is 1 or 0? 0. 1 plus 0? 1. Okay. And 1. And this and it is 1, 0, 1. This is our converted our number into 2's complement. All of you understand? Yes. Okay. Anyone come forward. I will give the number and you will change this number into 2's complement. Not in fact. Okay. And this is 1. Now, first say the numbers and next convert the number into 2's complement.
0, 1, 0.
Okay.
For that 2's complement, first we have to invert the numbers, the given binary numbers, 0 to 1, 0 to 1, 1 to 0, 0 to 1. Now we must add 1, but the 1 must be added to the least significant bit. But here there is no least significant bit here, so we must not add 1. We have to add this 1 at this position. You must add this 1 every time to least significant bit. So we must add this 1 only to the 0 in 2's complement. That's it.
Okay then. After adding 1, what is the number?
1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Okay.
4 ones.
Okay, it's the right answer and clap for her. Okay. Okay. Anyone say 2's complements in your words? Anyone? Yeah.
2's complement is nothing but inverting a binary number and adding plus 1 to the least significant bit. It's called 2's complement.
Okay, all of you have pinpoint clear about 1's complement and 2's complement, right? Yes. Are any doubts? No. Okay. And anybody wants to tell about the difference between 1's complement and 2's complement? Okay. Right. And this is our 1's complement and 2's complement. Now we have started our new topic, that is logic gates. Okay? There are some logic gates like and, or, not. And or not is the basic logic gates. And we have universal logic gates like and, not, etc. But we have to now in our today's session we have to discuss about basic logic gates and, are, and not. Okay, we have no blackboard, so I have to draw a new blackboard. And first we have to discuss about and logic gate. Okay, this is the picture of the logic gate and. All of you see here. Okay. Okay. In AND logic gate, there is two inputs like A and B. In AND logic gate, we have to multiply the inputs. That is A into B, and our output is equals to Y equals to A into B. Okay, understand? Okay, like 1's complement, 2's complements, we have to solve the output in practically. Yeah, come. This is an input, these are two inputs, and these are the output. Okay, first we give the inputs like 0 and 0. What we give the output? 0. And next 0, 1. That means you have to multiply. That means 0 into 1. That our output is 0. Okay. And next. Okay. Next time Okay. And next,
1 1 1.
and next we have, there is only two numbers right in binary. So we have to add this, multiply these two numbers only in different way, like 0 1 1 0 0 0 and 1 1. And next we have to give inputs like 1 and 1. What is the output?
1.
1. Okay. This is the AND logic gate. This is the process. This is a process happen in AND logic gate. And we these logic gates, we use these logic gates in motherboards, computer systems, and our daily life gadgets, phones, and etc. Okay, this is the AND logic gate. This is the one of the basic logic gate in DLP. Okay, and I have a question. All of you hear the truth table, right? Okay. I have given the inputs like 0 into 1. What's the output?
0.
Okay. And any one person? Okay, you stand. Okay. I have given the input 1 into 0. What's the output? 0. And I will give the input like 1 into 1. Okay. Okay, all of you have cleared about and logic gate? Yes. Okay. Next we have to discuss about OR logic gate. Okay. This is a picture of OR logic gate. Okay. All of us are? Yes. It is visible to you? Yes. Okay. In this OR logic gate also, we have two inputs and one output. Like A and B, and output is A and B. Like in this OR output, we have to add the inputs. Like if we give input is A and B, and we get the output like Y and we have to declare one variable like output Y, and we have to output like Y equals to A plus B. Okay. And next we saw the truth table of AND gate or OR gate. Okay, these are the inputs and there is the output. Okay. First we have in truth table, we have to show what we give in input 0 and 0. Yeah, 0 plus 0?
0.
Yeah, that is the output of AND table, sorry, OR table, if we give the input of 0 and 0. And next we have to say about what will happen if we give 0 and 1. 1. It's very simple, that means 0 plus 1 equals to 1. And next 1 plus 0.
1.
1. Okay, this is a truth table of R logic gate. 1 plus 1?
1 1 carry.
That is also 1. Not the 2. Okay? And anyone tell about the OR logic gate? Anyone?
OR logic gate means to perform addition. It means 1 plus 0, 1, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 1.
Okay. Can you tell the truth table?
Yes.
Yeah, go.
First, A is equals to 0 and B is equals to 0. Y is equals to A plus B means 0 plus 0. The output is 0 and A is equals to 0 and B is equals to 1. The output is 1. And A is equals to 1, B is equals to 0. The output is 1. A is equals to 1, B is equals to 1. The output is 1.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, clap. Okay. And now we discuss about and OR logic gate. And now we have to discuss about NOT. Now NOT is very simple. Yeah, what is meant by NOT actually in a normal way? What is NOT? No. Yeah. And it's reverse like we have sit. You already volunteered the program, so you know. And next, Ramya. Okay, tell the note.
Can you simply reverse the binary number 1 by 0, 0 by 8?
Okay, are you willing to do this step? Yeah.
If the input is 0, then the output will be 1. And if the output of the input is 1, then the output will be 0.
Okay, this is the logic gates. This is the logic gates, our basic logic gates. That means AND, OR, and NOT. In this logic gates, we have to use these circuits, and we have and create the hard processes and high level systems and etc. etc. We have to compute this and we have to process the outputs. Okay, all of you clear about this logic gates?
Yes.
Okay. Are you anyone willing to tell about these 3 logic gates in your own words? You? Okay. Yeah, come forward.
In basic logic gates, there are 3 types: AND logic gate, and OR logic gate, and NOT logic gate. AND logic gate means it performs multiplication. We give 2 inputs and give 1 input. For example, if we take 2 inputs like A and B, A is 0 and B is 0. The output A into B means 0 into 0. It will give 0. Next, A is 0 and B is equals to 1. It will give output 0. A is equals to 1, B is equals to 0. It will give output 0. For example, if we take A is equals to 1, B is equals to 1, it will give output 1. Next, OR logic gate. OR logic gate means it performs addition. It means it is also 2 inputs and 1 output. A and B is 2 inputs and output Y is equals to A plus B. For example, if we take A is equals to 0 and B is equals to 0, the output Y is equals to 0. 0 plus 0 is equals to 0, right? Next, A is equals to 0 and B is equals to 1. It will give output 1. Next, 1. A is equals to 1, B is equals to 0. It will give output 1. A is equals to 1, B is equals to 1. It will give output 1. Next, NOT logic gate. It means it inverse. For example, A is equals to 0. The output is 1. It has only 1 input and 1 output. For example, A is equals to 0. It inverse means 0 replaces as 1. Next, A is equals to 1. B like 0. Thank you.
You know the topic? Data structures. Why choose the topic? Anyone? Because it's difficult to know. Okay, we are future engineers, right? We have to know how we have to code. If you want to standard Bhavya, if you learn the language C, you know how to write code in C. It is sufficient for you to get a job?
No.
Why?
Only one process is not sufficient to get it.
Okay. We are learning coding. Otherwise, we have to learn the data structures and algorithms. These are must be. We have to learn to get a job. We have to learn the coding. It's not to get a job. We have to learn data structures and algorithms. That's only we have to get a job. If you know, we have to write code. How do we have to get it into the proper order? We have to perform the. If we have to play a game, like you are playing a game like housing. We have to order proper order. But we didn't follow that order, we lose the game. That's why we have to learn the algorithms and data structures. Okay? That is very important to be a coder, and we are emerging courses, right? Then we have to compulsory to have to learn the data structures and algorithms. That's why I choose
data structures? Anyone? Please can answer my question.
Information in the form of let's say representing the information in the form of some graphical using graphical models or some diagram models.
Okay.
What is the meaning of data?
Very good.
You all know what's the meaning of data, and
We have Kamakanda, please, and Kavita and Hasunda.
she is Vasundhara and Pavitra and Kanka Mahalakshmi. VPK. We have to put it in order. First which one is our K. And B? P. Have to change it to P. These names are data. We have to put it in order. It is nothing but we have to arrange it in a structure. What is that? Alphabetical order. This is the meaning of data structure. We have to put our data in such a proper order. This is called data structures. Thank you. And next, what is algorithm?
Set of instructions for a program is called algorithm.
Okay, we have arrange in order and step-by-step process is nothing but algorithm. Okay, thank you.
Now we get into our topic. In data structures, we have two types. As one is primitive and non-primitive. We already know what is a primitive. A primitive data type. We already studied in C. That is int, float, cat. And that's what is a non-primitive?
It can
We already know it in C language. We use some user-defined data types by using type. Okay? Those are nothing but derived from the primitive data type. Those are called non-primitive. Next.
in non-primitive data types.
We have two types. That is a linear and non-linear. What is meant by linear?
Arranging a paper in a existent
Okay, then the sequence order is something that means alphabets like. What is the linear is we have to arrange something order. Okay. What is meaning of non-linear?
elements are arranged in random.
Okay, elements are arranged in
Randomly. You can get an example from this. Trees and grass. Trees and grass. Okay, thank you. Trees and grass. We see when we see the grapes, we have an order like this. That is a trees. And next, grass. You saw it has so many graphs in my school age, in my math class. You start linear also we have two types. Okay, linear we have two types. That is static and dynamic. What is the static? It does not change. That is the meaning of static. Can you give an example? Okay, arrays. In C language, we give arrays particular size, but it does not change in the middle of the program, in the middle of the execution of program. That's why arrays is a static. And what is meant by dynamic? Okay, we have to change the size in the middle of the execution of the program. We have in the dynamic section. Like in dynamic, we have three: static, queue, and limit. We have to discuss now. We have two parts. First, we have to discuss what is static, queue, and limit is. Static.
what is the meaning of stack? Stack means we have to have some data in our progress. I'll give you a statement. I have three pens. One is green color and black, and one is yellow. I have put you in an order. Just we have to check what is the order of these pens. Black, green, yellow. Next, green and black. Green. Okay. What is the stack means? We have to put the data in an order with the help of the index value numbers. Right. And another one is we have to understand what is the stack. We have to put in order as wish you or wish. And next one Q. Q. If anyone knows that Q. Please tell the horizontal arrangement of an element in an order is called Q. As like a stack, we have to arrange the elements in the scale. But we have to in stack, we have to only stack to input and first go and last go. Until we have to input any. First we have to go first in, and I have to remove what the last color pen is there. That only remove in stack. In Q, we have three words: start, end, and wait. We have three words. We have to add elements at the start, and we have to remove the elements at the end. We have to add elements at the mid also. Though there is no problem. When we add stack is nothing but we have to add in a place. Then we have added in a pizza in the Zomato. Then how to check the check there? How she when the time is up, happen to the order, when they pay for the order, and next when they get the order. This is not that it's a particular manner, and that is called Q. What is linked list? Developing a link between elements.
Linked list is a sequence of links which contains items which each data is linked to another element, and we have two nodes in the data address. Okay. Thank you.
As she said, we have a linked list. There are four types. Linked list, double linked list, circular linked list. In circular linked list, we have two types: singular circle linked list and double circular linked list. In linked list, we have nodes. In nodes contain two parts. Let's then take an example. And one. Bhavya and Rasita. It just call a node. These two parts. And this one is node. She is storing in node. We have two parts. She is storing the data. She stores the data and she stores the address. It acts as a pointer. In C language, we have already known about the pointer, which can store the address of the another element. It acts as a pointer. It acts as a pointer of next data, and she is also store the data, and she is address of this data. I remove the ID cards, right? This is addresses. Okay, you can simply article that is where the ID card. Those are stored the addresses. And next, in single linked list, we have one. Disadvantages. What is that? One data we have lose the memory. We
data per. That's why we lost one memory. And double linked list, we have one node at three words. It's a part 1, part 2, part 3 is 3 nodes. Okay. Here, no, first one is store the address of the first data in front of the data, and it is data itself only, and it stores the address of next data. It is called linked list, double linked list. Understand the name from? What?
Can you please read it out?
Okay. In list, we have one node and it contains 2 parts. And one part is store the data, and another part is actually the pointer. You know the pointer. And pointer for the next data. Means the data. It's an address. I have to link these up. These cells. These cells. Then I store these address into this. And now one is address base. It's consists data. And another one is address. I have to link these node into this node. I have to link. You forget about this address. I have to link these people into these 2 people. Then what I said, I have to give these address into this node, second part of the node. Then they are linked. This is called linked list. In double linked list, we have 3 possible nodes.
Where you store the address of this node? This
Yes, this also nodes. We give one header here. I have to tell the last of them. We give a header here, and it can source this data value in data address in. We give an header. And next, in double linked list, we have 3 ones. I have to link these data into that data. Therefore, why I have to button here. This one data, second data, and third data. I have to link these 2 data into this. That's why I link this address into this node box and this address into this node box. Understand? This is double linked list.
What is the address of class?
It stores in here. Last one, then the last one didn't have address.
How can you designate the linked list without having max address?
This element address are stored in here, and this element address are stored here. This address has stores itself only. We have to ampersand. It can address of one person, and you also an address.
I'm just going to stop you for 1 minute.
We have to know about this database, where can we store this address, right? That is your question.
And what's the address of last one also?
Last one also store the address. In double linked list, there is not this one. Yes. But we are lost memory
This
here.
is a tough student. This is a tough student. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
We are lost memory. In single linked list, we are lost memory only 1 node. In here double linked list, we lost memory 2 nodes. We waste the memory first at the last and at the. We have to store the memory. We have to join another number. I have to please join. Then why she store the value? It will be continued, but we have to waste memory in the single linked list and double linked list. But it will be covered by in circular linked list and circular double linked list. We already wasted here. We have to give their proper address, but we have to waste the memory.
That means in single linked list and double linked list, we don't have terminating list.
Yes.
There is no terminating.
You satisfied with the answer? Or you want to be her friend, that's why you're saying okay?
No, sir.
You're satisfied with the answer. Okay. She's been under pressure. You've been under some pressure. But you know what? I think you should congratulate yourself that even though she's been under pressure, her body language is still okay. You know, one of the things that happens in interviews, see, there are 3 kinds of questions that come in an interview. How many kinds?
3 times.
One is when they're checking your knowledge of your domain. One set of questions that is checking your engineering ability based on your syllabus. That's one. The second is when they are checking your ability to deal with pressure. So they'll ask you a question for which you don't have the answer. They know it. But what are they checking? Body language. That when they ask you a question that you don't have the answer, how do I then behave? Do I get completely destroyed? Put my head down, put my hand on my eyes, and I will present a picture of total collapse? Or can I look at the interviewer and say, I'm sorry sir, I don't have the answer to that question. Confident. Now the interviewer will put in some more pressure. You don't have the answer to that question, to see whether you can still maintain anyone. This is a measurement not of your engineering knowledge but of your confidence. Remember we talked about confidence as being the other additional skill that we are trying to develop over here. Take your seat. You just close it. You start again afterwards. Take your seat. I just want to make a few comments.
In data structures, we write question that can answer this question. What are the types of data structures? Primitive or not? Okay, thank you. Primitive and non-primitive. And can give example for primitive. Example for the primitive. These are 3 in primitive. And anyone can answer what are the types of non-primitive? Non-primitive. Anyone? Linear we have non-primitive we have linear and non-linear. In non-linear we have 2 types. One is freeze, graph. Graphs. In linear we have 2 types. Static and dynamic. Dynamic. You know what is static? Does not change. Does it? Its example is array. In dynamic we have 3 types. Queue, stack, queue, linked list. At the last class, she has a doubt in linked list. One section. What she asked you, everyone know the answer? She asked what? In linked list we have 3 types, and single linked list and double linked list. And single linked list are the structural In node we have two parts. In first part it shows the data, and another part is like acts like as a pointer. It shows the address of the next node value. If I have some data about when we purchase something in online process, we purchase something, we add it in wish list, right? How can we add that? I add some one grocery item, some new top. These are different items that then one is undergoes to the groceries, then no clothes, then we have to add jewelry items also.
I'll intervene just for a moment.
What's the data? Another part is
Not better, not better. You're with the audience, that's not. Also, what happens when you talk with your back to the audience, some words they may not understand. Because the communication.
Data to this data, then I choose. Here is the data, right? I have to store this data address in this. Then that's why we link the two data.
Isn't that better?
That's not link. It's a link. We know that list. We use the list. And I have list 1 and list 2.
I just want to mention, when you
It's an example for its address is 1000 and this address is 2000. Then I have to link these two lists. Then I have to store this address in this list. I have to choose this address to link those lists. That is a linked list. In linked list, we have here data is there. This address is stored. And next one is data is there. In address is stored. In linked list, we have one disadvantage. We have wastage of memory. In this last box, which address will store? No address will store. In this last box, they are occupied by some garbage values. She writes that out in the last section. Then I will answer. You can understand? And Amita can do. You can understand? We have to place this one type of memory here in single linked list. In double linked list, we place 2 at the first and at the last. Here we place this memory box and next here. At the start and at the end we place the memory. That's why we use the circular linked list. Okay, next we go to yes, go on.
have you noticed one problem that we are having?
Step-by-step process. So now, so this question explains in our class. Our students are excited to know what is algorithms. How many of you like maths? As next, algorithms is step-by-step process. In algorithms, in data structures, they have some sort. Sorting means we have to arrange in something ascending order or descending order. In sorting, in algorithms, we use some sorts. I can explain so only some of that in hand. First one is bubble sort. Selection sort.
We've got 6 minutes left.
Selection sort. Random sort. Here we take we are engineers, right? We do some magic here. Magic. I will take one magic or mantra. In bubble sort, I have some students. They are all some students. Come to me. Here the students are standing there. But I want to stand them in a particular order at high pace. Then I will check one by one. She's having the order. Someone come who will be the bubble sir. Come. Thank you. Start the question. Stand heightless. Arrange them heightless.
This is by height.
Thank you. Because she said as a height that this is nothing but a bubble cell. This is nothing but a bubble cell. We saw, we check on the Rana. She's smaller than she. She's smaller than she. That's why she arranged in an order that is nothing but bubble cell. Thank you.
What is it called? What is it called?
Bubble cells.
How is it called?
Bubble cell.
Bubble call. I will answer it to the
And next is mother thought. Mother thought. I want some. In mother thought, we have small number or big number. Greater number, maximum number or minimum number. In that number, we check that those numbers. How to split it first? She's okay. Who have the ID card? The one who doesn't have ID card, the zeros. Okay. Is the one is greater one? I'll pick the one because I'll pick the maximum number. I'll pick the one. And next one is 0. 1, 0, 1. I will choose 1 is the maximum number. And then she is 0. 1, 0. And I have to split these numbers into 2 parts. In much side, these are separate. This is a set, right? I have to split into 2 parts. She is a mid one. This is the first part, and this is the last part. Okay? I have to split. And in first part, we split which is a greater number. Who is a greater number here? You come friend. Who was a greater number? Come friend. This is my sort. 1 and 1. And she checked with her. He is a 1, right? She is greater than or not? She is greater than her or not? You are greater than her? You are equal with her? Go that side. If she is greater than her, she set it itself. She is less than her, she went to this side. Like that in much side, we will choose some end point and start points. Then we will arrange it. Like this only you are. She is the middle one. She checked with these two of them. Then check it. She is equals with them, right? 1, 1, 1. Then place it here. Equal number where either it may be right side or left side is equal to only 1, right? Then we kept it in order. 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. It's maybe nothing but much. First we have to divide the elements what we have taken. After that we are put in order. We have to sort it out.
Okay, Sanika, we have to stop here. Because of time, thank you. Please take it. Thank you.